big time matchup for you guys. We got MP versus SVO J Hall. See J Hall on the screen right there. Big time matchup. Tell them they can get started. Let's get this thing going, man. Let's get this thing going.
It's gonna be a goodie. It's gonna be a
good game.
Ooh, I can't wait for the chat after this game is over.
7 seed versus 2 seed. Got
great.
Oof. All that pressure is on MP. He has been waiting for the playoffs. He's been waiting for this opportunity to showcase his skills. And you know J Hall wants nothing better than to knock him off because he's gonna hold that over for him the whole offseason.
Mm-hmm.
So you know. They dressed to impress, got their little, playoff unis on, trying to look cute out there. You know what I'm saying?
And they're good to go. We just gotta let them once they get that.
Yeah, they got the green light. Could be a little bit of nerves, you know what I'm saying? Look like, see, here we go. He bringing the offensive coordinator on the screen.
Oh, with that being said, J Hall lose by 50.
Nah, you can't. Hey, man, he tried to blame a regular season loss on little man. Can't do it now.
He brought a baby in the room. He's definitely losing by 50.
Oh, what a way to get this game started. J Hall, what are you thinking?
We got Black Phoenix going to be joining us too.
Oh, okay. Nice. Very nice. Because I know I got to get ready to roll in a minute. But as y'all can see, I got it right here on the pad. It's going to be right on the side. Yeah, I got to tune in, man.
Yeah, got the iPad in the left and the blackjack in the right. That's right. I'm talking about.
Oh, we about to get started. Let's get ready. We got a big time matchup. J Hall versus MP. Denver Broncos versus the Indianapolis Colts. It's go time. We got Black Phoenix in the building. What's good, Black Phoenix?
What's good, folks? What's good? What's good, everybody? Let's do it.
Every start this thing.
Is that what happens? You came in here like Dr. Manhattan? You know what I'm saying? You made them drop their connection, brother.
Oh, damn.
I need that kind of power, bro. That's crazy.
Shoot, I just do what I do best, you know what
I'm saying? I see you.
So I'm gonna let y'all two call this. You and Philly call it Phoenix.
Okay.
What?
And
the people thought you was going to be here with us.
I was only here for
Brian James 2 times in a row. I was like,
nah. But you scared?
The chat for that? Come on, dog.
You trying to hide out in the chat?
Right.
I want to be able to just enjoy y'all doing y'all thing, man.
Oh, that's terrible.
That's
terrible.
You know, Black Phoenix is the god over here.
Hey, man.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I can't do it like Snipes, man. You know what I'm saying? I can't do the TTC, you know what I'm saying? I can't do it like
Philly that. Gonna try it. Watch. Philly gonna try it. And you did do it on Monday.
Oh, he showed it.
That was because Philly was over here trolling. I was like, let me try to do this real quick to see what's up. Let me see what's up real quick.
Yeah. But you know what? It's too bad you got here as late as you did, brother, because we had some behind the scenes material that you could have incorporated to the broadcast.
Hey.
So, I can't catch you up. I'm just saying.
Listen. There's a reason why I wasn't here on time. I ain't gonna mention no names. You know what I'm saying? Somebody ain't send me no schedule.
Hey.
We got you. But thank you. Let's get this thing going. We got Black Phoenix in the building. We got Philly guy. Snipes is here, but he's gonna be incognito in a minute. So let's get it going.
Let's go.
All right, folks. With that being said, let's get it started again. Madden Underground playoffs are officially here. Xbox Pro Wild Card. We got a good matchup for you guys. Again, we got MP right here, and then we got J Hall again. Philly. I'm sorry. I'm Black Phoenix. Long Philly guys. Snipes and Bree James are in the background. Again, Philly. How you feeling about this matchup here we got going on right now?
I'm feeling good, man. Look, I'm so glad you're able to make it back. I know, I can tell, you're excited. You're not nervous. People don't understand that. You're not nervous. You're really excited because the playoffs are finally here, and you already called it out, man. We got J Hall and the Denver Broncos going up against MP and the Colts. I expect for this to be nothing but big play Sunday. So we're going to see who wins this game. I'm just telling you, it's going to be big.
Yeah, and we see right there again, J Hall starting off with the Broncos right there, going I form. Got Russell Wilson at quarterback here, going I form, slide with a little halfback stretch alert bubble. And again, we mentioned in Philly again. This is the playoffs. This is winner go home season. You got to bring your best, got to bring your A game here. So it's going to be interesting to see. And as we see now, something that's a little bit different now. You see we got an actual webcam and facial expressions. That's something we normally don't see in streams like that. So it's going to be interesting to see the body language and see how things go as the game progresses, Philly.
Yeah, it's a lot of courage for him to be on the screen. We know that he put one of his coordinators, he showed them to all his fans, and Brian James already said when you do that, you're bound to lose by 50. But I don't think that's going to be the case here today. I really don't.
Yeah, and let's see if that makes a difference right there. Oh, dangerous throw right there to the flat as Williams gets out there, makes the catch right there. 1st and 10 for Jay Hall right there. And again, Philly, like you said, it's going to be interesting to see if that makes a difference, whether or not. But right there, good start right there. Good start. Great catch for 1st down right there by Williams.
Yeah, but like you're telling us right here, like you can't be living on the edge. You should have done some scouting, and you should be making excellent decisions with the ball as we see him, once again, run effectively and get positive yards on 1st down.
Well said. Yeah, and that's going to be the big difference. Again, like you mentioned, the scouting is going to be super important, whether or not you win or lose the game. People, if they're smart, should be scouting against you, doing some homework, taking some notes, watching the film. We'll see if that comes into play in the later rounds as Russell Wilson takes a drop back. Hands it off to Albert. Oh, nobody home on the flat right there. Try to get a little aggressive with that Overstorm Brave. That time not working out for him, Philly.
Yeah, MP is really known for running the Overstorm Brave. It's definitely his signature defense. You saw him play off the ball in that situation, and Jay Hall was patient and made the right read.
And again, going off to his normal wide offset, looks like a jet touch pass, and it is. Passes to Hamler, and there goes green grass right there. And he's got a big play right there going down to the 13. Russell Wilson, 4 for 4, 60 yards right there. But that's a gigantic play right there to KJ Hamler right there for a 1st down right there, Philly.
Yeah, you got to love it. I mean, right now we are seeing the user stick control from Jay Hall, and it's been effective, and he's driven down the field, and he's looking to put up 6 on the board.
Yeah, that time nothing doing right there. Melvin Gordon, 2 rushes, 2 yards, and that's big DeForest Buckner right there. D-Buck, some kids would call him, making a huge stop in the background. They try to go with a little read option. I think he misread the read option a little bit on the read key right there, Philly.
Yeah, the thing about D-Buck is he's also an X factor, and MP is very familiar with the read option. He's operating out of the spread playbook. We'll see that a little bit later on when he gets on offense. So he's going to be very conscious of making sure that Russell Wilson doesn't get going on the ground and just forces him to pass.
2nd and 11 here, down to the 14-yard line. Again, here in the red zone, that's where most points are, or where most games are won and lost right here. As we see another stretch right there, hands off to Melvin Gordon. Melvin Gordon got some space right there, goes for the touchdown, and that's going to be a touchdown. Jay Hall, a touchdown, Denver Broncos. Denver Broncos right there is looking great on the ground right there as Melvin Gordon easily punches in. Nobody seems to be, out there defending them on the stretch right there, Philly.
Yeah, one of the things that you can see consistently with Madden players is a lot of them like to pass, but the ones that have that balanced attack end up being the most dangerous. And you saw there that MP was trying to send pressure, and unfortunately in this situation, that was the wrong defensive play call as Melvin Gordon was able to run it easily for the touchdown.
And that's honestly the key this year. Balance is so important this year. I know a lot of players like the pass, a lot of players love the aggressive catch. But pass and having that balanced attack is so crucial this year. And you hit it right on the head. We'll see if that continues along through the game to see how the game progresses right there. But now we get a chance to see Jay Hall on defense here versus, like you mentioned before, MP running that spread offense. Seems to be kind of emulating a little bit of VA dimes kind of stuff. This trio all set weekdays coming out in. What are you expecting from Jay Hall on defense? We've seen the spread in the last game of the week with Dimes and Bronco. Bronco obviously getting blown out in that one. Do you think Jay Hall may have taken some notes from that game and see what he can do in this game?
Well, you know what? I hope not, because the one thing is that, yes, Dimes and MP both run the spread playbook, but they run it very, very differently. MP loves to push the ball down the field, and if he catches you slipping, he will take off with the quarterback. But you can definitely expect for him to get the ball to the right players and consistently try to run inside on that read option. So I'm expecting for Jay Hall to have to pick his poison, and he better not have his players out of position, or it's going to be a long game for him.
And let's see, speaking of opposition right there, you got Jonathan Taylor, one of the best running backs in the game right there. Almost a 1st down right there, down to 2nd in inches right there. And like you mentioned, read options just like that. It's going to be interesting coming down the trio all set week here for Jones here. Looks like a little bit of a cover 0 look on defense for Jay Hall. And Jonathan Taylor once again making big plays. Goes a little bit backwards right there. But ends up getting the first down anyway. First down right there for MP. And again, that could have been disastrous, but great recovery right there by MP.
Yeah, it really was. And what you're seeing is that ball carrier vision. It's enabling him to get through some of these windows and, get positive yards. But it's going to be something that Jay Hall is going to have to adjust, because you can't pick one defense that's going to stop everything in this spread offense.
Very well said right there. And again, Bradley Chubb making the play right there. And this time gets up there. That's Woods right there on a high point aggressive catch. Daniel Jones, first down, 17 yards right there. And great play call again. 1-on-1 coverage, cover 0. And again, you're successful to these high point passes, Philly.
Yeah, Woods is coming in at least at 6'6", and he's going to be the rookie of the year. So MP is very comfortable throwing to that young man. He may be normal development, but he's got the height to get up there and snatch that ball out of the air.
Hey, congratulations to Woods for winning Rookie of the Year. That's a huge accomplishment, especially in this league. Brian kind of hinted at that in the podcast if you missed that episode. Again, RPO read bubble right there. Jonathan Taylor, nothing doing too much right there. 3rd and 2, playbook wide open for any kind of play call right there, Philly.
Yeah, and what we're seeing, though, is we're seeing the consistency of getting positive yards each play. And that's going to be a huge deal as we get less and less room on the field to operate, to see what type of passing game MP is going to use to try to put points on the board.
This time coming out gun monster, one of those dangerous sets if you're not prepared for it. Jonathan Taylor getting a little bit of gain right there, gain of 5 right there, but that's something that is one of those playbooks and formations in the gun monster that if you are not paying attention to your play call screen, that is going to hurt you bad. And that time didn't hurt him too bad right there, as he only got a gain of 5 right there. But like you mentioned, though, Philly, you can't stay in one defense. It seems like Jay Hall is very, very content with staying in this dime sugar week that not a lot of players are running, and I'm curious to see if he's going to adjust right there, Philly.
Yeah, a lot of players usually do that because they're trying to get the defensive tackle to come free and have the middle linebacker, your sub linebacker, kind of hovering behind him over the center. But that doesn't work against some of these formations that MP is calling. And Jay Hall is going to have to come up with a different type of run defense if he expects to keep MP out of the end zone.
And looking like he's going to switch it up here, going with the 4-3 even 6-1, one of the more popular meta defenses in the game this year. Again, MP coming out in that trio offset week that's been greatly working for him right there. It's hands off to Jonathan Taylor again. Jonathan Taylor, 9 rushes, 51 yards, having himself a solid half so far. And Cal Bear in the chat, shout out to Cal Bear, saying, will there be an adjustment on defense? What do you think, Philly? So far, it's so good on the adjustments, but let's see if that continues on.
Yeah, I think that really what ends up happening is, as we see there, we see that Jay Hall has really been making 2 reads. 1, he's waiting on that RPO bubble screen. And 2, he's trying to protect the seam so that the quarterback doesn't have an avenue to run that read option. So I don't think he's going to make an adjustment right here. It's up to MP to show that he can punch it in.
And let's see if he does indeed punch it in right there. Again, MP's running the spread offense, trio offset weak, has a running back wide open, throws it, and that's going to be a touchdown right there. Touchdown, Indianapolis Colts, touchdown, MP. And there you go, Philly. Just like you mentioned right there, adjustments right there. Working out for MP, and that's going to be an easy 6 for Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah, and, even though Cal Bear was asking to see an adjustment, that's the one thing that you can't do is make an assumption that all those plays that you saw coming down the field are going to be the same plays that you see when it's time to punch it in. And Jay Hall forgot to cover the seams on that play, and it cost him 6.
And you see Jay Hall right there, not getting too down on themselves. Normally, man players will be a little bit irate. Maybe, spike a controller right there. Stop controller violence, by the way. But, Jay Hall seemingly calm right there in the situation. Has control of the ball. Again, he's up right now. Or sorry, the game is tied, but has a chance to be up in the game. So let me ask you, Philly, are you changing anything that you're doing on offense if you're Jay Hall, or are you sticking with the status quo right now?
Well, I think you can always improve everything that you're trying to do. But one thing I'll give him credit for is that he forced MP to methodically drive the ball down the field. So if he makes small adjustments, I think he can set himself up either to get the ball back or position himself where he can try to create a turnover.
And let's see if he can do that. Again, Melvin Gordon having himself a big game. Scored a touchdown earlier right there. 5 rushes, 35 yards, 1 touchdown on the day. Going with the halfback blast. And again, not too many people going out of I form, basing out of I form. J Hall has shown us a little something different. And Brian, and you guys mentioned it earlier in the podcast, a lot of people in this playoffs are running different offenses. So it's kind of refreshing, honestly, and you can say this too, Philly, to see different offenses being displayed here.
Yeah, and you know what? Some of these offenses are actually necessary as we see him break out of the tackle. And, Gordon is just having himself a day-to-day because when you run some of these man blitzes, a lot of the counters can be found under center. And so you mix it up and you can find yourself having a successful drive down the field like J Hall is right now.
Hey, write that down, folks. If you guys are, doing a little bit of scouting report, Philly dropping some huge knowledge right there. Fortunately, right there for J Hall and Melvin Gordon, not able to do anything on that one. Again, 2nd and 11 right now. 3 minutes left to go in the first half of action right there. He goes again with the stretch, nothing doing. And it seems like MP is making some adjustments on defense. Normally went with that overstorm Brave Philly. This time going overload blitz this time. A little bit of adjustment going on with MP.
Yeah, you like that. But really what happened was MP took the safety and brought him down to defend the bubble screen. And that's what, unfortunately, J Hall read. And he probably should have selected a different formation because you weren't going to catch MP slipping 2 plays in a row.
And oh my goodness. Really, really dangerous throw right there. Ran with the gun tie right there. Try to throw it out to the flat. Great adjustments by MP. Putting Stephon Gilmore on the running back on Melvin Gordon right there. 4th and 13. Huge play right here. Goes hurry up right here. Russell Wilson not able to get the ball up. Almost intercepted. And that could have been a pick 6 very easily. Dangerous decision right there. Do you agree with going for it right there in that situation? Or do you agree with that play call at all, Philly?
No, I really don't, because this is the second time we've seen him do a no huddle when he didn't have success getting the yards he thought that he was going to be able to get. And that's what he's going to have to do. He's going to have to break that habit because MP is basically daring him to pass the ball. And that's not a situation that you want to put yourself into.
Hey, well said, well said. And again, MP on offense, once again, try to go with a little bit of ad catch right there, nothing doing right there. And has the ball to Jonathan Taylor. Jonathan Taylor got space, and watch out, there he goes. Gets a stiff arm animation, and there he goes down to the 32-yard line. Both running backs, Philly, having themselves a great game on the ground. Jonathan Taylor having a little bit more yards than Melvin Gordon, but Melvin Gordon with the touchdown earlier. What are you liking out of this ground game? We're seeing a lot of inside zones, seeing a lot of stretch. This is a great game for both running backs right now.
Oh, this is a phenomenal game. And MP is getting into a rhythm right now because he's running the read option. He's running the inside zone. He's running, the bubble screen. And he's giving himself opportunities to have big plays because J Hall has to adjust to all of that.
Very well said. Again, shout out to B-Guard in the chat. Not agreeing with that, saying that's no man's land. Not the worst call, but obviously not the best call either. But anyway, 2nd and 6. 1 minute, 20 seconds left to go in the half as MP with the Indianapolis Colts, that's on offense right now, and gets a flag right there, delay of game, and really, really bad clock management right there, Philly. You expected a timeout at the very least if you're going to take the time all the way down, but bad penalty right there.
Yeah, I think if he's just dialed in, his adrenaline is going. He sees the opportunity. He's looking at the clock, 1:16 left to go in the half. And he's just trying to make something play. As we see Jonathan Taylor here, who's getting loose, and he takes it all the way down to the 4. So it didn't really hurt him that bad, but you got to wonder, is he going to try to use more clock to get it moving so that J Hall doesn't get the ball back?
And speaking of which, Gary, shout out to Caliber in the chat once again. Jonathan Taylor with the glow, man. That's that power of concentration. Shout out to Last Dragon reference right there. If you guys know that movie. And Jonathan Taylor almost punches it in right there. But now, actually, decided to go hurry up. I thought he was going to use a little bit more time on the clock right there, going 3 seconds, no huddle right here. Daniel Jones hands off to Taylor. Taylor goes in, and that's going to do it right there. Touchdown, Indianapolis Colts, and touchdown, MP Jonathan Taylor. Getting it done on the ground today, Philly.
Yeah, we talked about it on the first drive, and we were talking about adjustments. And I think right there, I think MP has shown that if you're going to play on anybody, you need to take the man that's going to be controlling whoever's covering that bubble screen. Maybe you want to run commit and just play that bubble yourself, or try to play the running back coming out of that seam. But you got to start doing some things differently because you decided to go for it in a terrible situation, and it's cost you.
Scary hours indeed, scary hours. And again, the main thing I want to kind of concentrate on, again, as you see right there, Jay Hall's expression right there. He's on stream right now. For those that are wondering who's on the stream, he's controlling the Denver Broncos. And again, the body language is going to be so key here, Philly. You still have control of the game, right? You're down 7. All you have to do is execute here. But we've seen it time and time again on many games of the weeks that this is where you can lose the game if you're not careful with your play calls.
Yeah, and I think right there, just to further support and cement that, he had an opportunity to punt the ball, and he could have possibly held off for 50 more seconds. Who knows if MP would have scored a touchdown? But now he's putting a lot of pressure on himself, and he might force the ball downfield, unfortunately, and put himself even further behind the 8 ball.
Yeah, and you see right there, Russell Wilson, down goes Wilson. 2nd and 13 right now, taking a sack from that dollar formation. Again, one of the best defenses this year in the game of Madden, with that DB fire spinner kind of combination that you can run. And he takes another sack right there. Rodgers coming in, that's 1.5 sacks for him. 3rd and 25 here. MP deciding to call a timeout, wants the ball again. And like you mentioned, he's getting behind the 8 ball. This is getting way behind the 8 ball at this point, Philly.
Yeah, and you see MP took a timeout there because he knows that Jay Hall has backed himself into a corner. Even though he's gotten this completion, I mean, it's still 4th and 18. And let's be real. If MP knows that you're going to pass, you know the heat is coming. And Jay Hall did not adjust to that at all. And he better hope and pray that he's able to hold on for the next 30 seconds and keep MP and these Colts from scoring any more points.
Hey, B-Girl in the chat saying that's a bad timeout. Make him use his. And hey, again, 23 seconds left at the 40-yard line. MP having complete control of this game. Again, like you mentioned, Philly, you don't want to, you back yourself into a hole right there, taking those 2 sacks by Russell Wilson. Again, that's great defense by MP. Nothing taken away from him. But again, these play calls that we're seeing Jay Hall call, again, crucial 4th downs, 3rd downs that you need to execute, not seemingly to execute at the highest level that he needs to in order to beat MP.
Yeah, and what he had success on in scoring on his first drive was because he was running the ball. We had talked about the balanced attack. When you go away from that, you give some of the best Madden players in the world the opportunity to tee off and come and get your quarterback.
Yeah, and right there, 3rd and 3, right, by the way, incompletion, Daniel Jones throwing it to his receiver right there. That could have been, honestly, 3 points right there, but that's great defense to stay in the game right there, not go down 2 possessions. But we know how Madden is. This is Madden 23. We have 1 play left in the half. Let's see if one of his receivers can come down with the ad catch right here. As Daniel Jones is going to take a step back right here. Has plenty of time. Decides to throw a little bit short right there. Going to Woods right there. And that's going to do it for the first half. MP 14, Jay Hall 7. And, let's talk about this, Philly guy. Like, what did you like out of both teams right now? Again, MP going with Jonathan Taylor. He's still got the glow. He's still glowing. Yeah. He's got that power of concentration. Yeah. Jay Hall going with Melvin Gordon, again, like you mentioned, but he went away from that, putting the ball in Russell's hands, and then ended up terribly for him. What adjustments do you expect to see Jay Hall make in this second half?
Well, I think his play calling is going to have to get better. I think we've seen that he's able to move the ball down the field and score. And I think for MP, it's just continuing to do what he's been doing. He's running a balanced attack. He made a good decision to not force the ball downfield on that last play, and he's building up his momentum meter. He's still got the glow. So he's doing everything that he needs to do to win this game, and he's putting the pressure on Jay Hall to try to force the ball a little bit because he's going to be running out of time.
And let's see how the second half goes. And speaking of Jonathan Taylor, there he goes once again. Still has that glow, folks. Again, Jonathan Taylor, 16, 126, and a touchdown right there. And you see a little bit of frustration right there. Jay Hall not too happy right there about that, Philly. And there goes a connection loss And that's not good right there for the game right there. And unfortunately, we're going to have to see what the rules are in order to get back to that point. So let's talk about what's going on here. As you know, I guess the guys are going to be restarting right there. But what we've seen out of the game so far, Philly, again, MP running the daylights out of Jonathan Taylor has been successful. J Hall not as successful with Russell Wilson getting the ball, going away from Melvin Gordon. What can J Hall do in terms of defense? He came out in his dime sugar look. It doesn't seem to be working. Try to go 3-3-5 odd. Didn't seem to be working either. You know, are you going back to that 4-3-6-1 that was having a little bit of success, or are you still going to try to fish around and try to find something?
Well, I think that's the biggest problem right there. Is this is the playoffs, and you should have been scouting. You should be familiar with the tendencies of your opponent. So to be fishing in the middle of a playoff game, that's going to end badly. And I think part of the frustration that we're hearing in the chat is we're hearing about some of the adjustments that need to happen and need to be showing on the field. So if you're going to play, if you don't match up, for example, in terms of speed or height, well, you're going to have to play a certain way. Like you have to give something up. And if you want to continue to live and die by single coverage, then you're going to see the running back have a huge day. And so MP has said, you know what? You haven't shown me anything that can stop the run that I'm doing. I'm going to continue to run the ball. I'm going to continue to feed Taylor, and you're going to have to figure out what it is that you need to do to stop him. And then that's going to open up the passing game. So I don't think that J Hall has really come in here with a plan. I think he's really been victim to waiting for MP to try to throw the ball to his tight end. We know that he's been rookie of the year, but that's not really what's happening here. He's getting dominated on the ground, and he's not able to do anything about it because he didn't come with a game plan to take the run away from MP.
Yeah, and then we see in the chat right there, wide receiver really shout out to him, saying critical, and then B-Guard mentioning MP will run all over this 4-3-6-1 defense. And, you know, again, we have seen it. You know, Jonathan Taylor had a $126, 2 touchdowns on the day. So, again, like you mentioned, you can't really wait for MP to pass the ball if you're not stopping the run. So while we got a little bit of a break here, again, shout out to everybody coming through, supporting Madden Underground. Make sure you guys are lurking in the chat, man. Hit us with a follow. Interact in the chat. Don't be scared. We're not going to bite. We're not one of the players playing. We're just sitting here commentating, having a good time. You know, we don't bite much, at least not me. I don't know. Philly might be a different story. We'll see. Madden Underground After Dark. We'll see. But again, if you guys haven't done so, man, check us out. If you guys are interested in joining the league, if you guys are looking at the stream right now, you're saying, man, I can do that. I can beat these guys. Well, put your money where your mouth is. So, you know, sign up at MaddenUnderground.com. Once again, MaddenUnderground.com, and join the list. And again, feel free to check out the Discord as well. And follow Madden Underground on Twitter at, I think it's UG_Madden. But again, Philly, I'm kind of curious to see what the ruling is in terms of how does the game still play in terms of, like, you know, we can just continue to score the scoring as is, or how does that work? Is Brian James coming in on cue?
Yeah, with the hat to the back. Yeah, right. Flip the hat because he's about to come in. He's going to come in and he's going to explain to everyone out there who's wondering, you know, what are the steps that they have to take because the game disconnected.
All right, basically what's going to happen is J Hall they're going to start the game back. MP is going to get his points that he had. With that comes the momentum, right? He had the momentum, he had the points. So he has to get the points back to regain the momentum. So J Hall is going to give him a touchdown because he was up, right? And then MP is he's gonna punt the ball back to MP, and then MP is gonna start. They're gonna start the game back from wherever the ball was last placed, and then they're gonna play the rest of the half. So that's it.
Well, that was easy.
So there you go. Yeah, I mean, look, it just because, you know, the connection happens to be a part of the game, and it's trying to be the bigger story in this game. The fact of the matter is, you know, it can happen at any time for any number of reasons, and so we just want to make sure that the game gets back to as close of the same area and of the field and game and scores that you possibly can. So it's not going to be an advantage for J Hall because, as Brian James indicated, those points aren't coming off the board. And you still got to make sure that momentum that MP had that we saw, he gets that back. So you're going to basically pick up right where you left off.
Yeah. And again, J Hall has not been able to stop any kind of momentum on defense at all. And again, getting steamrolled by Jonathan Taylor. So again,
I see B guard in chat. Like, does anybody use their staff points for anything? No, nobody used their staff points. J Hall had 216 staff points. So that's crazy.
Well, I mean, it goes back to your point or what you said on the podcast, Brian. Again, that's how you develop your team, like learning how the ins and outs of the franchise mode.
Exactly.
And as Hancho mentioned, 200 definitely got to use those staff points. If you're not using them, don't you get some kind of attribute bonuses depending on what route tree you go in the staff?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the thing. See, so when you hear Hancho and you hear B Guard make those type of comments, okay, these are also players. Even though they're on the NFC side of things, they've made it to the playoffs, okay? They're doing all the little things to create that separation and give themselves a chance to win. And so that's a red flag, okay? The first red flag, as Brian James said, he held up an offensive or defensive coordinator before the game, and that's never a good thing,
I'm just telling you now, anytime you pick up a baby before you play, that means you got access crowd noise. So if there's a baby nearby, you're going to lose. That's just my opinion. I've never won a game with a baby. A baby just came in just now, but a baby next to me.
There you go. And that momentum meter in life that B James is talking about, okay, it adversely affects you, and then you start seeing the type of behavior that we're trying to prevent here on Madden Underground, and that's the control of violence. So we don't condone that type of behavior because you put yourself in a precarious situation. And right now, J Hall, he's playing with the lights off. He hasn't used any of his staff points, and he brought a baby to the party. You know what I'm saying? And MP doesn't care about any of that. All he cares about is winning this football game, and he's put the time and effort that each opponent deserves, and he's winning.
Yeah. I mentioned it in the chat too during that episode. I said that's probably the biggest difference. I mean, it was mainly for the off season, but as you mentioned, Philly, that's the little things right there. Getting those little attribute boosts and everything like that. You're not using your points. I don't know really what you're doing. You're not taking advantage of any of the things and the tools that you're given for free. You ain't got to pay for these. So very interesting to see that J Hall not using any of his staff points at all. And again, made the playoffs, great. But now you're getting steamrolled. Maybe if you use a little bit of staff points, maybe that doesn't happen. You never know. But again, we'll see how it goes as these guys are going to restart the game right there. As Brian mentioned earlier, have to get back to exactly where the points were and the momentum was before we can continue with the game. And again, before the disconnection of MP steamrolling J Hall, Jonathan Taylor doing some work again. And while we're waiting for this, again, let's talk about these playbooks again that we were discussing, Philly. Again, that spread playbook that we saw MP using, very dangerous. We've seen it time and time again with various guys. MP running it a little bit more differently than, say, like Dimes or any of these other guys that have been running it. Going more ground-based, not too tricky with the jet touch pass or jailbreaks or that like that. Read option, inside zone, that's been his brother so far.
Yeah, he's not forcing it. And I think that's one of the things that people have to remember. It doesn't matter what playbook that you're in. But MP and Dimes have made a point to have the personnel that's necessary for their schemes to be successful. And one of the most important things that we're seeing MP do is he is not trying to let J Hall, hang around and trying to figure out, do I need to stop this or stop that? And P said, look, I'm going to come out. We're playing smash mouth football. I'm going to run the ball. And until you show me that you can stop me running the ball, there's no reason for me to pass. I don't need to open up my offense and do anything differently because you can't even stop the one thing that I'm doing to set all of that up. So, it's really, again, it's up to J Hall to make those adjustments and say, okay, MP, here's what you get on this part of the field. Here's what you don't get on this part of the field. And he hasn't done that.
Yeah. And again, Jonathan Taylor with the X factor glowing, again, it makes things a lot more difficult for J Hall to stop anything on defense. And again, these guys are going to get back to where things were. So imagine Jonathan Taylor will still come back with the glow. Again, let me ask you in the chat, for those that are watching this, again, if you're J Hall in a situation, somebody is running the ball down your throat. What play calls are you making in the chat right there? Are you going nickel over? Are you going zero defense? Are you going spinner? DB fire. What play calls are you making right there to stop MP from running wild on you? If you have any play calls, or are you just kind of free winging it and just saying, hopefully, hey, at some point he stops himself. We never know. Some players are operating under that mindset. But again, my biggest thing when I'm looking at as I'm watching the game, and again, he's keeping it super simple. It's only two formations that he's coming out in, and that's that trio offset weak. And I think at one point it was like doubles, Y flex offset, and a spread flex that he just threw like a random 4 verts out of. So when you have somebody that's just coming out, is keeping it simple. Do you feel sometimes when you're playing Madden Philly that maybe you overthink it a little bit and you're like, man, like, he's got all these formations and spread that he can go to. Do you feel like sometimes maybe you overthink it instead of just taking the game for face value?
Me specifically, I know that I do. I started looking at this game like it's real football, X's and O's. And Brian James tells me all the time, he's like, no, you're doing too much. You're doing too much. You're not really coaching. You're playing a video game. And I think that for people who have any type of football acumen, okay, a lot of times their schemes, it can reflect real life football concepts, but they keep it simple. And MP is keeping it simple because it's hard enough to try to match up with a trips formation. Everybody knows that. And then it's hard enough to try to stop the aggressive catch, which MP has done a great job of getting the players and throwing the ball to them. But then when you add the fact that most Madden players don't have a balanced attack and just want to drop back and pass the ball, now you're allowing MP to blitz you every down because you're putting yourself in these situations where the downs aren't manageable. And so, that's the one thing that J-Hall got away from. And I got to be honest with you. Those scouting points have, not scouting points, those stat points have everything to do with it because he could have given his team either on offense or defense the boosts that they needed to have more of an impact in trying to stop the run or whatever scheme that he wanted to implement going up against MP.
Yeah, and again, looks like in the chat we got some responses. Spread used correctly is the hardest book to defend. I agree. As somebody that also runs the spread book, it is so hard to stop it, especially if the momentum gets going. As I like to say it, if you can't stop being one thing, well, hey, it's gonna be a long game for you on defense. Yankees coming in saying nickel 2-4-5. B guard coming in with the corners 3 deep, 3-fit defense, something. Huncho with the over cover 4, B guard saying 4-6 Barry under. So there's a lot of different and variety answers that we see in the chat. And again, that's great. Again, hopefully you guys are taking notes on, especially if you're having MP on your schedule coming next round. You're taking notes on what MP's doing, and hopefully you guys get to implement some of the ideas that the chat's mentioned, and also some of the gems that Philly has been dropping left and right. Man, applause to you, Philly, man. You're doing fantastic with those gems. I'll give you some credit right here.
What? Look, I appreciate that coming from you, Phoenix. One of the things I enjoy the most in your commentary is how you make the game relatable from a beginner to a professional standpoint. And when you talked about those strategies that you got from the chat, each one of those strategies gives something and takes it away. And a good Madden player is going to know what that is. A great Madden player is going to play defense that way and be prepared to mask and cover those weaknesses.
Hey, well said, and thank you so much. I appreciate that. That means a lot, honestly. I do my best. I'm saying I try.
Yeah. Brian said we had to be nice to you, so.
Oh yeah, hey,
I throw you a bone every now and then.
Coming from an Ohio State fan, I'll take it. I'll take it.
Well, I mean, I wasn't gonna bring that up, but since you did, I mean, I think you should know.
I mean, we'll see. We'll see. We'll see how it goes this season. We'll see how it goes. What I'm saying? Little college rivalry, obviously as a Michigan fan, go blue. We are, the best. But some people, not gonna mention any particular university, the Ohio State University, think they're so much better. But I don't know. Well, I don't know. I don't know about that.
Well, nobody questions it except for what do you guys call yourselves? Well, you're not there's the MCU Wolverine. I don't know. I don't know of any passive animals that just kind of roll over. Oh, you're the Michigan wannabes. That's right. You want to be like us.
I see.
Yes, the wannabes. But it's okay. It's okay. Because you know what? I got you here, and this has nothing to do with Michigan. Because your commentary, clearly, you didn't learn that from Michigan. You learned it, and you put in the work and the effort, and it's showing out here on the field. So,
hey, appreciate it. All right, so looks like I guess they're kind of foregoing the option that I guess Brian was talking about earlier with getting the score and the momentum back. Looks like they're kind of just playing right now.
yeah,
Brian, if we can we get a can we get a confirmation on whether or not they decided to do this, or like what's the word here? Because I was under the impression that we were just kind of letting them score, and then once they get back to a certain point, they kind of play. So I'm kind of curious, did they decide to go a different route here, or are we're just kind of calling it the way it is right now?
Well, here's what I'll tell you before he hops in here. I'm not sure about that field goal because we know there were no field goals
right
the first time we were watching. But I mean, I can understand about them, running these type of offenses to try to get the clock moving so that we can get into the second half. But passing the ball is going to be very, very, difficult doing that. So I'm really not sure why MP kicked the field goal. He probably did it by accident, but I will say that they're going to figure out a way to give both of them an opportunity to feel like they're in this game and just pick up where they left off. So if I'm Jay Hall, I'm going through the motions right now, but I need to be talking to my crew. I need to be on YouTube. I need to figure something out that's going to help me stop that defense, because what I've been doing so far, it hasn't worked. And, you got to look at this as a blessing in disguise and try to figure something out, because you're only down 7, even though MP does have the ball and is driving down the field and was in field goal range.
Yeah. And again, I guess if they're playing like that, then we'll just kind of go as is and just call it as is. Again, Russell Wilson, yeah, I'm just as lost as you, Calvert, on what's going on. Again, I don't know if that's a player decision or if that was coming down from the commissioner himself on the ruling, but I guess we'll just call it like it is. So now we got 10-0. MP has the ball in possession right now. Again, Russell Wilson just fumbled for Jay Hall, and Jay Hall looks a little bit annoyed right there about what's going on. So I'm guessing this must be for real, and if it is, then we'll just kind of go with it. As we see Daniel Jones again coming out on offense for MP, double stack formation, and let's see what MP decides to do right there. Decides to throw it up right there to Woods, unsuccessful right there, 3rd and 11, and try to go with that one-on-one ad catch right there, a little bit unsuccessful right there, Philly.
Yeah, you know what, and I got to tell you that I just got word from the commish. I mean, he gave very explicit instructions. It's supposed to be, again, 14-7, and then Jay Hall was going to give the ball back to MP, and then they were going to play out the half and just kind of, start from there. So I have to look at what MP is doing right now, and I'd have to say, you know what? He is full throttle. He isn't thinking about what happened. He is locked in. He's dialed in. And, that's what you kind of want to see. You want to see somebody be told to dial it back a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Because we all remember that 49ers game against the Ravens, and the Ravens, they were putting hands on the Niners.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Buffalo Wild Wings event happened. The lights go out. And then, you came back and the Ravens had to warm up again. They're a little bit older. And so they lost a lot of that momentum. But nobody is telling NP to slow down right now. And so we're going to have to see him give Jay Hall the point. So, they're still going through the motions right now. But, I like it. I mean, he's definitely staying aggressive, and he's going to be ready to go when it's time for them to start officially.
Yeah, and again, we'll see how it goes. Again, Woods coming down with the aggressive catch. Again, going through the motions right there. So for those that are just tuning in, again, disconnection happened in the middle of the game. MP had the ball. Fortunately disconnected. Again, Jonathan Taylor was going absolutely crazy. And as we see, they're just trying to get back to a point right there. So that was an aggressive catch if I ever seen one right there, with a touchdown for MP. And again, we're at least the hope is to get back to where we started. Again, MP seems to be having other plans, like you mentioned, going full throttle. So hopefully we can get back to where we were originally before the disconnection happens. But again, 17-0 right now in favor of MP. And
yeah. No, they're doing it right. He was up a touchdown. He gave him back his touchdown. He was only supposed to give him back the points that he was up. They weren't gonna, so they're gonna just play the first half of this game. So they're playing for real right now.
Oh, okay. Well,
yeah. So they're just playing. They're finishing out the half because there was only a half left in the game. So he gave them the 7, and then they I guess they just picked up from the 7.
Okay. Well,
there it is. So, hey, let's bring it home. 3:22 left to go.
Yep, 3:22 left to go in the game. Again, J Hall decided to go a little bit different right here. Different approach. Went for I form. Decided to go with a little bit of bunch tight end right there. Single back, not pistol, not gun either, but a little bit of single back bunch tight end, which is something, again, you never see too often. That time unsuccessful right there. 2nd and 10 right there. Russell Wilson dropping back as he is getting hit right there. And that's that Rodgers guy that had a second and a half before the disconnection, Philly. And right now, not looking too good for Jay Hall as the time is ticking down. Got to come up with a better plan than this.
Yeah, I mean, everything that we saw when we thought that they were trying to recreate the score, nothing has changed. All we've seen is Jay Hall try to air it out, and you're not going to beat this Colts defense through the air. If you don't run a balanced attack, which is what Jay Hall did on his first drive, you're not going to score. And as we see here, he continues to have difficulty consistently completing passes downfield because he hasn't been able to put up any other points since that first drive.
Yeah, Russell Wilson able to throw the ball right there and complete it very barely, very at the last minute, able to make a first down right there. And again, Jay Hall on offense right now, MP on defense, as you guys can see, be wide open right there. Throws it to Jerry Jeudy, and that's going to be a touchdown right there. Jay Hall with a little bit of life right there, and that's going to be a touchdown, Denver Broncos, touchdown, Jay Hall. And that's that PA shot seams play, Jerry Jeudy all the way up the seams. Nobody home right there, Philly.
Yeah, I'm a little disappointed with MP because, the great Tom Landry, even though I'm not a Cowboy fan, had always said, you know what, keep blitzing them until they show you that they can beat it. And that's the one thing that MP did. He kind of dialed it back a little bit. And Jay Hall was able to have some time, make some reads, roll out, throw the ball downfield for a completion and a touchdown. So I felt like MP kind of gave him those points. And I would hope that he does go back to blitzing Jay Hall because Jay Hall hasn't been able to punish him for it. And it's just as simple as that.
Yeah, and again, you saw MP burn that timeout a little bit earlier. Thought Jay Hall was going to come out with the onside. Jay Hall decided to kick the ball down the field, not give himself a chance. Again, 2 minutes left in the game, not the first half, folks. Again, this is for the game. As we see right here, MP going with Jonathan Taylor once again. He's been the bell cow so far right here. Gain of 7 right there, going down to the 2-minute warning in the last 2 minutes in the game, Philly. And again, that's an interesting decision. I get trust in your defense and all that, but don't you want to get the ball back or try to get your ball back with as much time left on the play clock?
I mean, you'd like to think so, and particularly with these formations. I mean, we haven't seen Jay Hall run commit at all. We've seen him be very passive. That's the first time that we've actually seen him during the game try to come up and shoot the gaps, but he's left himself out to dry. And I think one of the things he needs to focus on in the offseason, it's not so much the personnel as much it is getting himself some run defense.
Yeah, and again, we've seen Jonathan Taylor just have himself a day right there on the ground. Again, that may be the plan of the offseason. We'll see how it goes if he spends the staff points right there. Woods right there for a first down. And that might be it, honestly. Again, MP having himself a day on offense, and Jay Hall just unable to slow him down at all at any point in time during this game, Philly. And like you mentioned, we'll see if, things change in the offseason. And still a long offseason to go with everything going on that you guys talked about in the podcast. But definitely a disappointing finish for Jay Hall on both sides of the ball. Don't you agree?
Yeah, I definitely think so. But also I will at least give him this much. These are two different styles, and styles make fights. And it's not like Jay Hall had the opportunity to deal with this in his division and with a high level of frequency. So if you're not familiar with some of the defensive assignments and responsibilities that come along with playing somebody that has a spread playbook, then, these are the kind of things that'll happen. Now, I will say for MP has had an opportunity to play against styles very similar to Jay Hall's. So he's a lot more comfortable, and he's taking advantage of a lot of the mistakes that we see Jay Hall making out on the field today.
Yeah, and again, if you got MP on your schedule for the next round, again, this is perfect film study. If I'm looking ahead right there, again, you're seeing what MP is doing, sticking with the ground game, coming out in various formations. Again, trying to get you a little misaligned, a little bit of a read option game, inside zone game. Not too heavy on the RPO screens, but again, very committed to the ground game, and we see him on defense as well, coming out in that dollar. So whoever does have MP in the next round, it'll be interesting to see if they go back to this game or any other games that that MP has played in the past, and see if they can get a little bit of nuggets from there. As the time is going to tick down all the way at 3 seconds, decided to punt it right there. 25 seconds left, and going to punt. It looks like this guy's going to actually catch it, and that's going to reduce the time even more down to 20 seconds. So there's not much you can really do here, Philly, except for chuck it up. And other than that, I mean, that's pretty. It looks like it's going to be GG's in the chat.
Yeah, I mean, a lot has to go right in order for Jay Hall to pull this out. Now, we have in Madden Underground history, we have seen MP actually have a game in hand and lose it on the very last play of the game, but I don't see any of that happening here. He has been way too dominant. As we see the interception here, he is moving on to the next round, and we're going to see if people take your advice, take notes, and pay attention to what happened on this field today, because if you don't, you're going to be conceding with time left on the clock.
And that's going to do it right there. Not letting the time run down, deciding to hit the eject button, as that's going to do it right there. MP with the victory over Jay Hall right there.
Mm-hmm.
And again, Philly styles make fights. And again, we saw MP. That was the strategy. Just run the ball, run the rock, pound the football. And Jay Hall had no answer for that. As we see Brian James coming in. What's up, Brian?
Oh man, just yeah, that was ugly. But yeah, it got brutal. You guys did a great job, man. Yeah, MP is advancing, and I don't know. I thought that was going to be a better game.
Well, you know, but talk a little bit about that, Brian, because, you know, you're in the same division and you also have some of that football acumen. And we talked a little bit about it when we were watching MP and Assassin in one of the Fast Money tournaments. And so when you watch Jay Hall, okay, can you talk a little bit about what the things were that you saw that showed you that he was either out of position or he was going to be in for a long day?
Everything against that offense is positioning. So it's like if you move somebody, assignments change. That's what people don't realize with that whole RPO thing. They think it's a glitch, when in reality, if you move a player, the assignments change because of the way the offense is set up. So that's just like real life. The assignments change. If you send a guy in motion, the assignments, the responsibilities of those said players change. You know. And that's what people have to realize. It comes with knowing football. A lot of guys don't know that. EA could do a better job of putting defenses or the AI in to better defend certain things where they could adapt to it. But for the most part, no, they just it's nothing that Jay Hall wouldn't even call in the right plays to even combat what MP was doing. Mm-hmm. So just by that alone, he was in trouble from the jump. But you know, MP's still alive. That's the player that you used to, a lot of people wanted to see still alive, with Dimes, the Woodies, with the Diggs, all those guys still being alive in the playoffs too. So MP is the first AFC game played in the playoffs so far, and he got it. He set it off the right way for the AFC.
Yeah. And so based off of that, right, you talked about some of the names, and just in case you didn't hear your name, C-Jack, I'm talking to you. You know, nobody is leaving you out of the equation, okay? B. James is just putting it out there that, you know what, MP was the first to get his game in. So, Brian, who do you see, or what do you see on the AFC side of things that you're looking forward to the most?
I'm looking forward to seeing what Diggs can do. Like Diggs, I beat Diggs early in the season. He hasn't lost since that game. So my thing is that what I want to see what Diggs is able, what he's bringing to the table. We know he can aggressive catch. We know he can put the ball in places. A lot of people say if you only got aggressive catch, you're gonna be in trouble when you get to the playoffs. So B-Guard put that into the chat. No, you're not. It's like it's all about positioning. And if you can, the main thing is being able to put the ball where it's supposed to be. That's the hardest part, is being able to put with the new mechanics and all that stuff. It's not about the aggressive catching. It's putting the ball in places where only the receiver can get it. And the guys that can do that are the guys that are dominating. And if you can aggressive catch too, then even great. But you still have to be able to put the ball in a place to where only the receiver can get it. A lot of guys can aggressive catch, but they can't even get the ball to the receiver in a position to where they can even do an aggressive catch. That's what we saw with a lot of guys doing throughout the season. So for them saying that there's no skill to it and this and that and the third, it may not be no skill with the aggressive catching, but putting the ball placement aspect of it is where the skill kicks in. A lot of people can't put the ball in a place to where only the receiver can get it.
And to B-Guard's point, and you just kind of echoed it a little bit here, what offensive styles have you seen be the most successful? Balanced pass heavy, run heavy,
balanced attacks. The teams that have the most balanced attacks have been the most successful. Dimes has a balanced attack. Woody has a balanced attack. Diggs for the most part, he has a balanced attack to a certain extent. You go to the NFC side, B-Guard has a balanced attack. Trade for Life has a balanced attack. All the guys that have been successful aren't one-dimensional. So if you're a one-dimensional guy, you're gonna have a little bit of trouble kind of playoffs, because all these guys have seen everything throughout the year. So
see, and there it is. I mean, look, you called yourself a bum earlier, and I know the Phoenix wouldn't have used those choice select words. So do you really want to explain the reason why you called yourself a bum? Because you're the only man to beat Diggs. So how can the only man to beat Diggs call himself a bum?
Okay, well, like I told you, EA ghost patches a lot of stuff. So the game could play one particular way today. We wake up in the morning, it plays totally different. We know that. So with that being said, at the beginning of the year, I don't know if you guys remember, we saw a lot of quarterbacks scrambling outside of the pocket today in various games. And beginning of the year, you couldn't do that. That was something that wasn't, you couldn't do that because of the edge, the sheds, the insta sheds, all that, things like that. You couldn't do that. So the way the game played earlier in the year was more tailored was more suitable for the way I was playing. And then there became a time where you could stop every run out of dime. I'm a runner. If you can stop me out of dime, I'm done. You know what I mean? Because I can't run. Right. I can't pass out of that. And there's nothing I can do. Then you basically gonna box me. I started making a run at the end of the year. They patched it. The run game got a little bit better. You see people having more success running the ball now. And you know, it's just it comes down to what the patch may hold. They may patch something where it requires a particular button combination to get an aggressive catch, and then the guys that are only aggressive catching won't have much to depend on. But as of right now, this is what the meta is. This is what everybody's doing, and you see people leaning on that the most.
Okay, there you go.
And that's all it is to it. Again,
I got a question for Black Phoenix though. Based on what you've seen thus far, do you think MP is a valid threat moving forward into the playoffs?
I think so. I mean, again, you seen him mix it up with the read option. We've seen him mix it up with the run game, and again with the RPO. Again, that's what the base of spread is those three things: is being able to run the ball, utilize your quarterback in the run game as well as the pass game, and then make just smart decisions, not turn the ball over. Right now, from what I saw from MP, yeah, he's definitely. I would agree with that wholeheartedly right now. But again, styles make fights, so I'm very interested to see if he can do it again with hopefully a better opponent in the next round. But yeah, right now, yeah, I would agree with that for sure.
Okay. All right. Well, we got a lot of big time matchups tomorrow. We got the Trade for Life. We got the C-Jacks playing. We got the Bun Bees. We got all those guys locking in tomorrow. What do you guys? We got Diggs has a bye. Honcho has a bye. They're sitting back coasting and chilling, watching the games and enjoying the games. But what do you guys kind of expect out of those games tomorrow?
Well, I'll go first because Phoenix he's a professional. You know what I'm saying? And so he's not in the league. He's going to be PC. But I'll just tell it just like it is. There has been a lot of chatter lately about who's going to be doing what, who ain't going to be doing what. We saw Space handle his business, even though he didn't win the game. And you said it. Honcho, he's sitting back, he's watching. Diggs is sitting back and he's watching. And so you have a lot of people, maybe these are make-believe chips on their shoulders. I don't know, right? But we know C-Jack got to show us something. He got to. He got the Miami Dolphins. He's got all the speed in the world. And he's been telling us for damn near a year now, oh, when the playoffs come, I'm going to arrive. I'm going to show up. Okay, well, you know,
the last few years he's been one and done.
That's what I'm saying. So he gets his chance to do that. Now, Buns B hasn't really been running his mouth. But people are going to say, oh, man, you got the Chiefs. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you know, that's a playoff team off rip. So you're obviously going to be competing. That's not true. Buns B earned his spot. And so, you know, you're going to get a chance to see what he brings to the field. But all of these guys, all that talking that they've been doing, none of that even matters because this is your moment. And if you don't use your staff points, okay.
Hey,
we don't need to have a conversation.
Hey, when you got 216 staff points, this is what you're doing during the playoffs. You're playing Call of Duty. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just gonna. When you got 216 staff points, if you got 216 staff points and you don't use them, this is what you're gonna be doing during the playoffs. You see what Jay Hall's doing? He's playing Call of Duty. So
hey,
I just want to reveal what's going on behind the scenes because people wonder what happens when you get eliminated. That's what happens. This is exactly what happened. You're free falling, hitting the ground. so that's
I ain't gonna lie, bro. That was some next level.
I'm just telling you.
Queued up.
Okay. Right, had it ready. Had that ready.
Yeah, man. I'm like, hey. With that being said, what? Okay. But with that being said, we got big time playoff action tomorrow. Yeah. Will you be back tomorrow, Phoenix?
Yes, I will be back tomorrow.
Phoenix will be with us tomorrow. Philly will be with us tomorrow. Snipes will be with us tomorrow. And we got a lot of games, man. It's gonna be a lot of games. We might have to split the broadcast up for some of these games if we got too many going on at the same time. So because we also got PS5 kicking off tomorrow too. So we'll figure that out and we'll get it going. We might have to split the streams up, but if that's the case, then make sure you guys keep it locked and we'll be ready to go, man. We'll be ready to go. So make sure you guys hit that follow button, that like button if you're watching on Facebook, that subscribe button if you're watching on YouTube. And we definitely appreciate your viewership. And we'll see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
All right, let's get it. Everybody waiting to see what happens. Let me see what I'm trying to figure out how we get out of here. Hold on. There we go.